How's it going, everybody? It's Man Tomorrow here. Let's get this show on the road. Hold on a second. All right, there we go. I know you can hear me now. All right, what's going on here? XC, Little Rock, AO, K Diggy, Dion Davis. All right, make sure you hit the like button upon coming in. All right, so I will explain myself because I love explaining it because detailed analysis cannot be refuted. Detailed analysis cannot be refuted. That's why I love doing detailed analysis because when people disagree, they don't play back the entire live stream, disagree with the points that I actually make, and actually refute the points. They can't do that because the people who are listening were never taught about that type of information. Like, you have to understand that most people want to say things to feel better, to win a conversation, no matter what it is, no matter how deep they have to go, no matter what the scars are that they cause, it doesn't matter. But when you've been raised by the actual ideology your entire life, it puts you behind when you actually deal with men, period. That's the point. When you actually deal with actual men in the real world that are not trying to coddle you, that are expecting a very specific thing out of you, who've been raised in a certain type of environment where they don't have to respect the things that you are about and that you're trying to fake like that you're a part of, dude, it's very easy to dismiss you. It's very easy to dismiss people who are on that type of nonsense. Extremely easy. So the same person who sent me a cash app to explain this to him sent him his money back. I don't need your fucking money. At the end of the day, I will explain this shit to you. But there's a pre-stream that needs to go on before the stream. You have to ask yourself, if you cared about the so-called image piece, why would you get behind the image piece of bullshit artists? If you actually cared about the image piece, why would you get behind bullshit artists as the actual place where you want to plant your flag? Because remember, you're the one who wasted your time with these people for very specific reasons, but you want to blame everybody else. Hold on a second. But a lot of this stuff has a lot to do with preparation to have the conversation about reality. Again, you think that I have to pander to you to get you to participate in society. I'm like, dude, if you're not participating in society, you're gonna be left behind. You're gonna be left alone. You're gonna be left to the side. And you will seek out environments on purpose. You will seek out environments that would help you with your lack of understanding of how things work. You will do that on purpose. The purpose of you doing that is because you have to make the time count that you actually spent in these other environments. When I left home, went to the actual military, like, dude, nobody gave a shit that I didn't have a criminal record. Nobody gave a shit about that. Nobody gave a shit that I didn't have a criminal record. None of those people gave a shit about that. Everybody had an actual high school diploma. Like, that may have been a high water marker for some Mississippi shit, but that's not a water marker for the rest of how the world works. Most of these people have this stuff already. And it's kind of like when you come with these pre complaints about things that you think that are important, when you're dealing with people who's been past these things and never worried about these things at any point in time in their life, you're talking to a different group and kind of person. Like, you don't even know that you're your own problem at this point. I have all the same information that the so called dating coaches have. I apply it different. The way I apply it differently is I just leave problematic people alone. I don't try to listen to this person for the best information or that person for the best information and decide to go with something that feels better for me. I just decide, like, look, I've been raised by proper parents who have proper outcomes. I don't have to worry about bullshit artists. I don't have to worry about people who just make stuff up. So that way I can stand in the middle acting like that I have some level of point of view that I don't have. Like, and that's how you get caught up into this. Where you think you have to pay for a solution that's free. The solution is free. Staying away from problematic people is free. 100% free. What's going on, spiritual? Staying away from this stuff is free. You're listening to the people who failed from yesteryear, trying to tell you about how they succeeded in a particular process that in an environment that they never tried to change. Is that really the actual personnel who dodged and stayed away from this actual stuff to actually pander towards your feelings so that way they can get you out of the circumstance that you repeatedly put yourself in? No, that's what parenting is about. Parenting was supposed to tell you about the pitfalls of society and the pitfalls of situations and the pitfalls of not having your stuff together. Just like me in my 40s, I can point to the people and the outcomes of people who are in my graduating class, who are on the education piece and the career piece, who done very well in life. All those people who are your actual parents, they know those same people. They do. They're not dumb. They're not stupid. They pay attention to everything. And with social media, you can see people's life unfold, especially the people who are doing very well, who don't even need you. But at the end of the day, you're trying to make this time count. You were never supposed to bring your pain with you to the black manosphere. That's how you're being exploited. You're being exploited for your pain that you're bringing here. Again, I have the same information that they have. I just apply it differently. The different way I apply it is to avoid it. Find better solutions and avoid it. Your solution making process is I have to find partial intellectual guys to stroke my ego to the point to where I'm going to stay away from those problems only if the educated guys say so. Because right now, I got these people pandering toward me, telling me to get involved and investing in some type of system and process where you could just leave all this shit alone and move toward a solution. The problem is you don't have an aim or a goal in mind. Your aim and goal in mind is to be convinced by other individuals to do shit that is naturally your responsibility. You've outsourced things that should be the responsibility of parents to bullshit artists online. That's how you get caught up in the red pill, the black manosphere conversation. You're only attracted to the type of conversation that discusses entertainment. You don't know shit about politics, how things work, how to be productive, how to stay disciplined. You don't know shit about any of that. You want to know why? That's not your outcome. That's not the outcome that you're moving towards. The outcomes that you're actually moving towards is that you think that your fucking eyeballs is going to make productive members of society like me pander towards you like other PhDs, pieces of shit that came to the black manosphere. You're fucking wrong about that. And if you've been here long enough, you've been here less than 2 years, but guess what? I've been here damn near 10. It's the same individuals running the same game on the same group of people. Still haven't picked it up yet. You want to know why? You're trying to make that pain count for something. You know damn well that that pain has not counted for anything. Yes, I was here when the dating coaches started showing up, large number. When people can have decent conversations online in large number about the problems that were going on in society. But when it came to taking action to solve these actual problems, that's where you saw the schism in the black manosphere and the white manosphere, by the way. Because the white manosphere wanted to pretend like there was not any problem, pick any bitch, deal with the consequences, shut your fucking mouth and deal with it. And the black manosphere was these people don't have any experience at all. Let's just keep running this Edgerrin James type play on these dudes. They're too stupid to fucking figure it out. And they're never going to figure it out until they get in these actual circumstances. No one is going to out pander to you to get you to do the bare minimum of fucking society, which is get your shit together, stay away from problematic people, and manage your choices and options better. That's not something that we were supposed to do for you. And you're going to spend your time in the entertainment sector and the beef sector and all this other shit because it feels good and normal to you. But for some reason, if my following was bigger, you would believe it. But your outcomes ain't better than mine, so you don't believe it. So you want me to lower what I talk about to the bullshit that you actually fucking believe in. So that way I can garner your attention to fix shit? Bro, you're already fixed. What are you talking about? Everything that you're on are already on, dude. It's a system that you're going through. You're going through the actual thought process of something that you don't need to go to. You're about to waste a hell of a lot of your own personal time trying to live up to these expectations that you don't even understand yourself. You just know it feels better than you to you for the most part because you're kind of in the middle. You don't want to invest. You don't want to pick a side. You just want to be in the middle. You think that it's everyone else's opportunity to pull you to one side or another. This is your own responsibility. To learn history of the country, that's your responsibility. The actual immigrants who come here, they have to take a test about the history of the country, whether or not they understand it. You were born here and you don't. This history is here. It was taught to me by my father, grandfather, mother, and grandmother, both sides of the actual family, taught me about how this stuff works, how it actually works, how attention and all that bullshit don't matter. It don't matter at all. But at the end of the day, I was given the same information that the other people was given. I just exercised it differently. Do I have older cousins in my family who did the same thing? Of course I do. Of course I do. Do they have outcomes that are not really all that ideal? Of course they do. I just left Memphis right now in Nashville. Whole city shut down because of maybe 3 inches of snow on the ground. 3 inches of snow on the ground happens all the time in Colorado. Not whole, the whole city ain't shut down. These people don't even know what social services are about. They don't even know what the Department of Transportation's job is. I'm just driving around, but like, why are these people even here? Kenneth Williams, thanks for the 999 super chat. Gemini 2005, thanks for the $5 super chat. I don't, there's not a message associated with it. But you have to understand this. This is your problem that you have to solve in your time. Most of these people are taking advantage of a predetermined outcome that you're trying to live up to, that you have not verified. The people who claim that they're good with this environment, they don't have custody of their kids. They're not married to a culture person within the environment. They don't have any outcomes that you can plot from beginning to end. They're out here teaching you to go through things that you shouldn't be going through as normal things. Again, all this shit was covered under parenting. Do I think I'm better because I had a? Yeah, I do think I'm better. Why? They told me to skip all this. And not only did I was told to skip all this, a lot of my brothers and sisters was also told to skip all this. Right now, Nashville visiting my sister. She was told this shit. Did she have better outcomes? No, she didn't. Why? Even though she was told about all these things and how it worked, she didn't want to have the fucking outcomes. Why? Wanted to dip her toe in that water and think that she can control that shit. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to dip your toe in the water, thinking you can control this nonsense. You can't control it. The people who are 50 and damn near 60 years old right now thought that they can control it. They didn't win. They lost. Oh, we just ain't got enough game, dude. I got too much game to deal with it. Period. There are other options that you can take. Problem is, you're too limited in your scope and you're too limited in your outcome. Your scope involves taking all of this stuff with you. You don't need to take this stuff with you. You don't need to take the pain of others, other generations with you. You have to live in the time that you are in. You can't be worried about 50 or 60-year-old individuals and outcomes of communities that you didn't help create. You're a young ass dude. Why are you worried about that stupid ass shit? That, like, listen, all those people who are actually worried about that, they didn't win either. They didn't win. It's all truth as I know it. Like you keep underestimating the truth and outcomes. But your truth and outcomes actually involve going through 15, 16 years of shit that you don't have to go through. I watch people in my peer group go through 15 and 16 years of unneeded baby mama drama and all that stuff. They went through unneeded thought processes before they had to run the other way. I was told about this stuff in the very first beginning. Again, these people are taking advantage of the fact that you can't move toward a solution because you feel like you're leaving so many people behind. I am the opposite. I was told to leave these people behind is the only way to get ahead. And you can't claim it's a black specific thing because whites are going through the same shit. Latinos are going through the same shit. Native Americans now, even on that reservation, are going through the same shit. Latinos are going through the same shit. You even have packs of fucking Asians right now who is going through the same shit. I'm talking about the Vietnamese, the fucking Chinese, the people from Laos and Philippines and all that shit. Come over here with productive individuals, have a state of thing in mind, come from a bad fucking culture where men don't have to fucking work. Dude, at the end of the day, you've already chosen where you are at and where you are going. The only thing you're trying to do is MOT. Convince me otherwise. Why don't you take your platform and turn it into an actual bitch complaint circle so that way you can actually tell me what to do? Bro, that's what the older content is about. There has to be growth in the conversation, bruh. There have been plenty of growth in the conversation. Just because you haven't grown doesn't mean I haven't grown. I'd rather shed that audience of individuals who's too stupid to understand that you're not going to be able to serve two masters. You can't serve the relationship argument master and you can't serve the progress master. You cannot serve the masters of political disengagement and then you're going to serve the masters of actual political involvement. You have to pick a side. And when people are telling you not to pick a side, they're not telling you what is the method of how you get to the results of what the actual point is. No, they can never point to another group of people who started off how we started off with a good argument, did nothing as a group, even though there are individual exceptions that have done anything, that have done some things that are great. End of the day, you want other people to do this work for you. You want boomers who are not in your life to give you a better start that you don't have any possibility of having. You want better parents when your ass is over 18 years old and you have the choices of knowing what the outcomes are. You know the outcomes of the choices. You know what the people who stayed on the straight and narrow, stayed away from dumbass individuals who invested in different things have better results. You ignore that. Why do you ignore it? You want other individuals to do the work for you. Why? The time you spent without a solution, you want it to count as if it was a solution in the first place. Like being lost is part of the process. Yes, being lost is a part of the process. It ain't supposed to be a 10-year ordeal. Let's say you go to IKEA. You pull out this piece of furniture that's supposed to look like XYZ. You give it all these screws. They have different actual alphabets from A through F. You have different actual screws that screws into this and screws into that. They're numbered all over the place. You're like a person who want to treat every single thing that you run into as if it is an actual Phillips screw head driver when it should be nailed in. Like you literally want things to be so easy and simple for you because you live so long without outcomes that somebody else is going to come along and fix this thing for you. Somebody's going to come along and actually drag you to productive conversations that is your responsibility to be a part of. Somebody is going to come along and outpace you with entertainment rather than logical things that you should follow. You're going to trust individuals who want to cross over into zones that they don't specialize in, rather than you seek out information from individuals who are actually specialties within their actual field. No one is going to come to you at no point in time and give you this type of information. You're being exploited because you want to be exploited, sir. You can't make that everybody else's responsibility. This is why I play psychology to you. So that way, in a very simplistic fashion, I can show you how you're being exploited. And I understand. You feel dumb as shit. You feel stupid as fuck. I get it. At the end of the day, where am I wrong? I'm not wrong. If I was wrong, You would be able to play back my videos and tell me where I'm wrong at. What is the mile marker? What is the actual minute marker that I'm wrong at? Can't do it. You want to know why? Raised in environments that told you no matter what reality is, you can always troll and buck dance your way past the truth. That's your fault. That's some shit you invested in. Yes, you invested in that. No one told you to do that. You invested in that shit yourself. So now we got to do all this extra work to bring you up to the minimum level of masculinity. That's not our job, man. And guess what? The Black Manosphere has been a clearinghouse for lost ass men. You want to know why? An unpoliced group will have all of these stunting ass dudes with no principle will jump in and try to change what the actual mission is by sheer numbers of unproductive and unprincipled people. Yeah. You don't believe me? Go to TikTok. Type in SYSBM. Don't believe me? Go to TikTok. Type in Passport Bros. Don't believe me? Go to TikTok. Type in Black Manosphere. These people desperately wanted a new identity when they haven't fixed their previous identity. They wanted to come through, wreck, ruin, destroy, come through and be a kleptomaniac, online kleptomaniac, by the way. Claim movements that they didn't invest in, that they don't care about. This is why I'm like, look, the moment you start talking to me about sexual access, you lost me. You lost me. Because there's not a woman who's ever came out and said, I would love this specific type of game to be ran on me. No woman have ever said that. However, but at the end of the day, you keep treating these other people like they are teaching you that exact same lesson. Is that my fault? Is that my problem? But you make it my problem when you try to be like, well, you know what? Why don't you change what you do to change it into this? And it's like, bro, nobody cares about eyeballs except for people who are misleading people. You know you're tuned in to something that you shouldn't be. I'm gonna give you an example. And I hate to point Ray Alexander out as an example, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Ray Alexander is a stupid ass motherfucker who been following Angry Man for the past 8, 9 fucking years. Extremely stupid motherfucker. Yes. So when Angry Man used the tools that I can use to actually blow up his fucking channel, right? Because you niggas are dumb. Now he wants to come through and email me about, oh, Anton Daniels, the truth about his wealth exposed. There's nothing about Anton Daniels that I want to fucking listen to. People who are listening to Anton fucking Daniels shouldn't even be on my fucking channel. Because if you're sharing your time between Anton Daniels and my fucking channel, at the end of the day, you know that you ain't doing the fucking work. And there's nothing wrong with Anton Daniels. The only thing is that he's there to give you an easy way to think about men who are not doing the fucking work and men who does. Think about it. Your career field, whatever career field that you're in, or whatever career field anybody else is there an Anton Daniels type person in their fucking group? There isn't. But at the end of the fucking day, I'm not gonna go around fighting your fucking battles on people that you wasted your fucking time on. You wasted your time on these motherfuckers. I don't have to go fight Obsidian. Obsidian said to me very clearly that he's here to make as much money as possible. Once he fucking said that, no need to criticize Obsidian anymore. Very clear on a fucking live stream. He said that he's here to run the same fucking play no matter what the fucking audience is. And if you still have yourself over there in that environment, I can't help you. But see, the cognitive dissonance gets to your fucking head when I've said this shit years ago. But see, you want me to fight your battles against these people. And it's like all these people who don't realize Obsidian was full of shit the entire time. But he told you plainly in English. He didn't say that shit in a different language. He told you what he was here to do. He's here to argue with unfuckwithable feminists that any family wanting created man should not even be dealing with those type of women in the first place. But at the end of the day, you wanted to complain about these women because somehow you thought that him talk about these feminists to make your dumb ass feel better about your fucking self is somehow going to make that woman give up her level of power in society to come over here and fuck with you. You're fucking dumb as shit for believing that. That's your dumb ass fault for believing that. That is your dumbass fault for believing that. It ain't me. You want me to go out and go on the offense and go fight for you? Why? Why the fuck would I go and fight for you when you're not even fighting for yourself? What you spend your time and what you educate yourself on, dude, that is some shit you got control over. End of the day, I'm not coming out here trying to fight nobody's fucking battles, bro. This is y'all fault. Remember, you have legitimate people here within the black manosphere. Guess what you just chose to decide to support? You decided to support bullshit artists and game artists and all this other shit. You chose to do that. Now you want us to pay even more responsibility for the fact that you put yourself in the wrong type of environment? Say it again. You're never gonna have me making live streams about Obsidian. The last live stream that I met is whatever you call himself, Obsidian, is the correct representative of the manosphere. That's after he was betrayed by C Boogie and actual Donovan Sharp. Once I seen that he came on and he displayed himself in front of a whole bunch of people, Zero, Jessica X, Aegon. Once you heard the actual end of the actual story that he didn't give a shit about none of this shit, Obsidian's not the problem. It's not the problem. It's not. Chasing down the complaints about this woman isn't the problem. I have the same information that they have. In fact, it was given to me sooner than they are actually presenting it to you. The thing is that I was presented a solution with it. The problem is you wasn't presented a solution with it. You was presented half of the actual equation. Half of the equation was getting you to believe in bullshit men. That was half of the equation. The other half was you was not given a solution that you were supposed to try during your own time. That's some shit that you wasn't given. You wasn't given that. Nobody asked you to do any of this stuff, bro. You did this stuff on your own. So now you want to overcompensate by making it my responsibility to change what I do to include you? Like, that's the problem with this inclusionary thing. It's not even gynocratic, even though people want to give you gynocratic excuses. This is your own fault that you're not ahead. Right now, I'm right now in Nashville, about to leave tomorrow and go up north to Michigan. We're on some property so that way I can take some additional time off. People have had money for years to leave this area. They didn't want to leave Memphis. They didn't want to leave Nashville. They didn't want to leave New Albany, Indiana. They didn't want to leave those places. Why? The place was going slow enough to encompass where they were. And then the moment that they didn't get the outcomes of what they think that they wanted out of those environments, they blame everybody else but the time that they spent in those environments when they knew better. Again, you can blame all the people you think you want to blame, but that's not the case. Spiritual Code, thank you for the $5 super chat. They promote dysfunction because they need dysfunction people to support them. That's correct. That is correct. So once I started doing these PhD breakdowns of those people and their career fields that they chose to be in, by the way, this stuff wasn't forced upon them. They went to school for this program. When I was in my PhD program, I went to school for a very specific thing. And had I would have finished, which it doesn't matter at this point, they just moved the program on to somebody else who did want to finish. I formulated my own business. I moved on to other things. That person actually graduated. He did the work that he was supposed to do. The VA got a lot out of it. He really didn't get that much out of it. And he don't like his outcome. Why? I could have been in the same boat. But I recognized it. It's not the fact that I didn't finish the program. I understood how the process worked. And once I went to that actual residency and I seen the actual individual that I'm going to have to be around with the same degree that I was actually pursuing, I don't want to be around those people. I don't want to be around them. But then again, I made a choice to walk. Like being able to walk away from a bad position is a very powerful move. You're you are not that pot invested where you cannot walk away with the gains that you receive from this environment. I wasn't that pot invested into the Mississippi Delta to the point to where I wanted to sit there and see how these things would actually end up, even though I know plenty of people who did. I was not that pot committed. I was not that pot invested. Remember, I have the same information that they have. It's just that I executed it differently. Actually, I have even more information than they have. Not only was I actually introduced to this information by my grandfather, I immediately went into the military when I seen instant consequences. When I was walking around my dorm as an 18-year-old dude, I seen dudes. Most of them were from dudes who just had too many kids. They couldn't live off base on their own. They had to live in the dorm on meal card. Yeah, they had to live in the dorm on meal card because they got too many women pregnant. Don't even know anything about their kids or nothing of the sort. And those individuals, you think they learned their lesson? No, they was trying to get you to take them out so that way they can teach you about women. The same men who ruined their entire lives over women were still trying to pretend like they were actual leaders of men among men with no experience. The only thing was, I was taught about these individuals before I even got in that circumstance. What's the difference when you haven't been taught that? Again, it's very easy to disconnect yourself from an algorithm of male usury. It's not female usury right now. It's male usury right now. Male usury. Male usury right now. Yes, this whole society is based on women's usury of men. Now you have a bunch of individuals who want to introduce the male usury of men model to the actual thing that they want to point to the women as if they're doing. There is not enough awareness that can be raised if you're not going to take appropriate action, bro. You can claim it should be you're raising awareness for all this stuff. If you don't require better actions from the people that you're ministering to, you're part of the same problem that they are. Maybe even worse, because what you're doing is purposeful. Most of these PhDs are married, were happily married, don't have the actual outcomes to which they're actually talking about, but they're pandering towards your insecurities. Why? Because they know so much about this process that they're not trying to fix it for you. They're trying to move you through the process of keeping you stuck in this process forever. That's the problem. It isn't the information, it's the practical application. It's always been the practical application of the information. It's always been that. At the end of the day, you should have already been past this manosphere shit by now. Complaining about women should have been a 1 year or 2 year type thing by now. The reason why you still have the complaints about women is because you're still dealing with them. And I am talking about the wrong kind, by the way. You know so much about this process that you want to keep continuing to keep going through it, to keep giving your money away to people who want to keep you in this sucking state. You still want to do that? And then you want other individuals who've been past this shit years ago to out pander the places where you put yourself into to remove you from that? The type of woman that would still accept you in this circumstance is a woman that loves dealing with pre-ran dumb motherfuckers. You put yourself in a low quality circumstance, under low quality positions, and you're shocked and surprised when people take mad advantage of you after that shit. That ain't her. That's the problem. That's you. Because you want to try all this stuff that's been ran on her entire life. Even though in the area that I'm from, they get started way earlier than some 13 years old, by the way. Not that I wanted to be a part of that process. At the end of the day, these people had this type of game ran on them by older individuals since 13 years old. And I'm using 13 years old as a barometer, but it's been going on way earlier than that. What do you think happens when they get a new opportunity with a bunch of people who's not skilled up on that stuff? That's right. They run the same game on you that was ran on them. You think they're going to care? You think they're going to care about you, even though no one warned them about stuff? So you think they're going to warn you about anything that they're running on you? You're wrong. While the other individuals know this stuff, but they never warn you about it. They don't ever warn you to stay away from it. They try to feed you into it. How you manage your time is your fault. The same time that you wasted doing this type of stuff, you could have paid for classes or courses. You could have went to the workforce center and seen what they had to offer. You could have invested in a whole nother career field in the 8, 9 years that you've been in the space and all this kind of stuff. Because all the complaints about the manosphere are coming from the people who don't have good results of listening to all this information. The people who have good results from the actual manosphere itself, you never hear from. You want to know why? It's too embarrassing to come to people and tell them about the simplistic things that they actually exercised and got results. But you hear everything from people who never got results. Want to know why? They kept supporting the wrong people, kept taking the wrong action. They kept going through this cyclic circle of things that they never should have went through, which is their fault. Your outcomes, your responsibility. No one else's fault. Yeah, my dad died in his lower 40s. Yes, he did. You ever see me blaming my dad about shit? No. Plenty of masculine figures around, from coaches to my grandfather to people who failed out of all these different colleges, who came back to the actual community, who actually they told me to get the fuck to get out of there. Get out of there. Don't waste your time like I wasted my time. I had a chance to leave. Now I'm stuck here. Yes, I've seen people who's been stuck there 20 years. Why? You want to go to a person that they thought that they was running a game on, turned out that they was running a game on themselves. Now they put themselves 20 years behind at a minimum wage job because they had to work or go to prison. Kid is finally out of the house. Now they can experiment like they should have experimented 21, 22 years ago. But they mortgage their entire future for thinking that they're running game on a woman that's way ahead of them. You actually think that that's the fault of her? That ain't the fault of her. That was a participant with her that done that. You. It ain't the information, it's the practical application. Red pill, black pill, not the information, it's the practical application. Why did you go after this information? Once you learn the actual result of how these things happen, what did you try to do? Go back there, create a flashpoint paradox? A paradox to where you actually mastered all these things that everybody else is facing the consequences of? Is that what it is? The word have stopped feeling sorry for dumbass men a long time ago. Yeah, my uncle got married 3 or 4 times, lost his everything 3 or 4 times. It would be crazy for my uncle to come out here and start talking about the benefits of marriage when he lost things 3 times in a row from marriage. Why? Because he just kept going back out there and practicing the same bad program with the same bad people. Again, your fault, your problem, your responsibility. What happens when you don't live up to your minimum of your responsibility, of learning how things work, of planting yourself within the soil and actually challenging power? What happens when you do not live up to your minimum responsibility as a man and you want to outsource your responsibility as a man to other individuals who's trying to get you to not behave like a man? Is that the rest of society's fault and problem? It is not society's fault and problem. It's your fault and your problem. You have to fix you. You think your different behavior is going to let people know that you've changed, even though you want to run the same game on them that's been ran on them for years throughout their life, and you actually think that you're going to have a different, a better outcome other than the other people? That's your fault. Your fault. Yes. So before I go through this actual breakdown of that, what's actually happening, because I have to play some psychology in front of you so that way you can understand the psychological games that's being played with you by people who know better. Remember, none of these people have on medical professionals in what they're explaining. None of these people have on psychological individuals, doctors, by the way, with their explanations of things. They're intellectualizing your pain on purpose and giving you an excuse to root around in failure for their own benefit. And after I show you that, I'm just going to go to the actual live stream, show you the same play is being ran on you every day. And what they do is they make you mortgage your own credibility to come out here and believe things that are not true beyond reasonable doubt, that are not proven beyond reasonable doubt, that you've never seen work beyond reasonable doubt in any type of society. Your first introduction into education was somebody who wanted to make you feel better about the circumstances, not actions to actually get you past the actual circumstances. But I have to show you how simple this stuff is because expecting us to keep doing these redos, these retries of 6, 7 year ago information because you haven't made it past it, it's something that we don't even need to be talking about at all. Again, I'm proud of where I'm at. I'm proud of the work that I put in. I'm proud of my results. Proud of my parents for what they actually taught, the things that I actually took advantage of when I had chances to take advantage of it when they was alive. You're never gonna hear me talking down on other groups. You don't hear it. The only group of people that I don't like is unproductive men and bullshit PhDs who come here with liberal arts majors trying to pass themselves off as actual some type of social scientist when they could have went into their actual career field, but they didn't. That's what I have a problem with because I understand the process. Because the process should be practiced. There should be a solution from the actual practice that you are actually a part of. There should be some success stories. Victimhood and getting somebody to believe in victimhood is not a success story. It's a success story by somebody who's keep twisting that knife on you. Like I said, I don't give a fuck that you were birthed by some fucking random ratchet ass fucking hoe. That ain't got nothing to do with me. End of the fucking day, you know the difference between being birthed in that environment and somewhere else. You should be over that shit by now. Or you should have seeked actual medical counseling to get you past those things if you have a legitimate problem. But if you're looking for online grifters to actually get you past that shit, then bro, you were already doomed to fail from the first beginning. It isn't everybody else, it's fucking you. You don't even believe in the process of getting past this shit. You think you're gonna victimhood your way through it? You gonna listen to all this bullshit over all this period of time and not get past it? When these people never even been in these circumstances, they can read different case studies on all this shit, and they know exactly how to run these psychological games on you to get you to betray the entire place that you claim that you wanted. Ever notice how people complain about the fucking space? They never support the people who are actually doing the right things within the space itself. Every time, like, oh, like, why are you the president of the Black Manosphere? Because I'm the actual outcome if you took this shit seriously. Well, I thought the manosphere was fuck you. That's your dumbass understanding of what the fucking Black Manosphere was. You have to take responsibility for the fact that you believe in fucking reptiles and animals to fucking lead us anywhere. That's your fucking problem. That's not my fucking problem. That's your fucking problem. You sided with the wrong person. You bet on the wrong fucking horse. You see the outcomes, but now you want me to actually come through and drag you out of that fucking mire and muck with the same level of bullshit information. Man, get the fuck out of here. You deserve to be where the fuck you are at. I don't accept apologies. I accept change behavior. Change behavior. Why? That's what I was taught about the killing them with Christian kindness shit. Fuck letting these motherfuckers trying to kill you with kindness. You let these people actually demonstrate change behavior, that they actually got it. They actually got the actual information. You don't need to trust these people, but at the end of the day, they will demonstrate different actions toward the same situations if they got it. They don't have it, don't worry about them. That's the problem. You want me to take responsibility of the places where you spend all your time at. Oh, well, I guess you just haven't convinced me enough. Like, bro, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm trying to convince you to go along this natural path, however long you want this stuff to take. You want to be boxed out in the corner, getting the wrong type of person pregnant, letting these people take advantage of you to the point to where you ain't got no credit to do anything in life. If that's the path that you want to take, so that way you can realize that these things are wrong, then dude, just go do you. You desperately want the black manosphere to fight battles that we don't need to be fighting. Why would you want me to go argue with other people politically when you ain't got your shit together politically? No side picked, live in a liberal area, don't want to invest in the liberal party, go pay attention to Narik Nasheed and motherfucking Jason Black and Professor Black Truth and the real Dana or fucking Phil from the Advice Show or any of these motherfucking black political grifters who hand you nothing, but you come to the actual verifiable people who are actually doing the work on the fucking ground. You don't ask those people who you listen to about that shit. You don't do none of that shit. Again, it's not everybody's fault. It's your fault. Dude, this system is too easy to get past. How come you think people are educated in a third world country are coming here and having results? Why? They can follow simple fucking directions. Especially when you didn't have a chance. When you never had a chance, you're in a caste society. It didn't matter where the fuck you were raised at. Doesn't matter what you pick or what you choose, you're gonna have the same outcome. Then you bring these people to a different environment where their actual decisions instantly net them instant outcomes by just working together. You think it's those people showing up here? No, those people are showing you what you should have done years ago. You should be controlling the immigrant labor who came here. But you're mad that you're not controlling the immigrant labor who came here. Why? The immigrant labor is actually outpacing you. You wanted to protect the bottom. Rural America wanted to protect the bottom too. They wanted all the factory jobs in the area. They wanted to claim that they was fucking hard working when it was just a situational awareness type piece. And once those jobs went overseas, they had the same outcomes everybody else did. Did they come out here and say what they actually invested in was some bullshit? No. No, no, no. They just didn't want competition. Just like you don't want competition. Again, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be another person to hide behind because you're looking to hide your lack of action behind political ignorance and inaction. You're still looking to do that. You're still trying to find the next person to run your ass into that burning building to do the shit that you know that you came here for. Again, this shit is still your fault. I'm sorry, can't listen to it. Too hard to listen to. Too hard to adjust to. So that way you just want to go listen to other bullshit artists so that way you can follow them. Then go ahead, man. Then go ahead, bro. But since you asked, and I don't need your money or eyeballs, but I will explain it to you because you asked and you gave me a challenge. And challenge accepted. I will go through each one of these guys, each one of their majors, each one of their programs, and show you what other people are doing with the same fucking degree that they have. And then you're going to compare that to what their fucking content is online. And then your dumbass is going to fucking look at this shit and be like, you know what? I could have looked this shit up myself, but at the end of the day, I just felt better about what the fuck they were saying. Like, dude, people in education present narratives all the time. That's their job. Their job isn't to make progress. Their job is to present narratives and not make progress. If they made progress, there would be an end to the educational process at some point. But if you get to write your own books and all this other bullshit with your actual credentials and not be responsible for any type of success or outcome, you can keep having the same fucking problem over and over again, which is what they thrive on. especially the arts majors. I'm not talking about the science majors. Science majors have a practical application. The arts majors are the people who you need to go after. These are the people who actually invest in most of the victimhood piece. Not the science majors, but the arts majors. The arts majors take mad advantage of knowing what the actual process is of finding solutions, but never giving it to the actual people who are actually there. That they're ministering towards. So again, this isn't hard. Think about it. When was the last time anybody played back one of my fucking live streams and told me where the fuck that I'm wrong at and on what issue? I know exactly where the fuck I'm wrong at and on what issue. But when you're too stupid to fucking do analysis, and the only thing you have to do is just miscategorize what the fuck I say and treat that as analysis, if you keep going through life doing that shit, anything that becomes hard to you, you're going to dodge. Analysis becomes the enemy. You want to feel good about the information rather than understand the information that is presented. And these people know that shit. At the end of the day, you're too stupid to fucking understand this shit. It's too easy to fucking do this shit. It's too easy. Too easy. You would know it, but most of these people claim to be on this political right shit. They were here during the 2016 election. They was here during the 2016 election. They was here during the 2020 election. They didn't have a good reason for what they believed in. Did they read anything? Oh, of course not. They didn't read anything at all. No, they didn't. But what they depended on were a bunch of stagnant, stupid ass motherfuckers who wanted easy answers to questions just so long as they didn't get their hands dirty. Trust me, I like getting my fucking hands dirty. I want to understand the fucking process. I want to understand what they understand because they seem to be getting results. And once I started getting results by being invested and involved in the fucking process, dude, you become addicted to that shit. You become addicted to the information and not having somebody walk up to you with a whole bunch of talking points and throw that shit in your face like ninja smoke bombs and shit. Dude, you become invested in the actual outcome once you can see where your actual ignorance was and how you was being bullshitted before and the actual action that you can take to go toward an actual outcome that makes sense to you because you understand the process. Not because you're trying to get progress without understanding anything and leveraging this shit on anyone else, everyone else. That's what's been taught. That's what's been taught. That you have to hide behind celebrity and popularity to make progress. No, you don't. That shit actually works when you expecting everybody else to do the shit for you. But if you're gonna go out there, take the bull by the horns, and understand the shit yourself and take tangible actions, you don't need nobody breaking this shit down for you because you're already invested in the fact of understanding and learning how this shit works. But I love challenges. I love challenges. And I will let you know in brutal fashion how I can explain myself. Because what I'm going to explain is going to be the same through everything else. You care about black boys? No child psychologist would ever refer you to T.S.I. Johnson about the bullshit that he's pulling. Not one. No psychologist, no psychiatrist, nobody within law enforcement, no one within the judicial system. There are plenty of places that actually deal with this shit on an actual industry level. You don't need somebody who graduated from Africana studies to fucking do this shit. He don't teach psychology in college. They won't even allow you to make comments on shit in college unless you're having a conversation with another PhD that is actually versed on the subject. You can't just go out here and add peer reviewed information to any type of fucking discipline that you want to. That's not how that shit works. You still have to do research within the field like everybody else. You have to be respected within that field like everybody else. You have to do all that shit. But when you're too fucking stupid, God, I love that word. Rolls off the fucking tongue. When you're too fucking stupid to invest in a specific process to get an actual fucking outcome, and you want to shortchange the process because you want to put bullshit grifter artists ahead of specific processes that was meant to protect you, then you deserve everything that you fucking get. But since you asked me nicely and I return your money to you, I'll do that for you. Give me some time. I'll put that shit together so that way I can be able to just play it out for you. And then I'll just go to the track record and the history and show you how that shit turned out. Since you think that I am a hater, I will show you a hater. A person who hates order and decency within the environment is the actual hater, not a person who's trying to protect it. So, so with that said, I have to get up out of here. You guys have a really nice night. Peace.